Hello everyone. Hello. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday? Thursday. It's Thursday. It was Wednesday yesterday. Hello. Hi. How did you guys enjoy the cover premiere yesterday? Did you all have fun? Did you guys like the cover? Happy Wednesday +1. Yeah, happy Wednesday +1. It's so good. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys think so. Hello, Mila. Hello. The cover was so cool. Hell yeah. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah. I thought it came out pretty good. Yeah. I don't have much to say. I kind of already went over the process yesterday before the cover went live. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I thought it came out pretty good. Do consider liking and commenting under the video if you haven't yet, and maybe sharing it around. How did you learn to control your voice? I didn't. I went over this yesterday. I'm still kind of a beginner. I kind of just wing it and see what sounds good. Do like different takes. Practice a bit, see what sounds good, and then check in with my mixer. But I haven't had like any formal training or anything. It's just sort of like a little bit of practice. 3 million takes. Well, it's not quite that bad, but for this song, I think I had to re-record 3 parts maybe. You're a natural then? Oh god, no. I'm definitely not a natural. I am tone deaf, and that is to say I can't tell notes apart very well. So I'm guessing more often than not if I'm singing the right notes, and then when I listen back to it, I can't tell if I'm singing the right notes. I'm horrible with it. I genuinely can't tell. Thankfully, I seem to be getting better at guessing. But the early covers were really rough to get stuff right. I was like horribly off key a lot. Digi had to fix a lot after the recording and stuff, so I'm getting more accurate now. I'm still not perfect, but I'm getting more accurate. But yeah, it's very hard for me to tell notes apart. So I don't really have an ear for that kind of thing. Like fixing with auto-tune. Auto-tune is a very narrow way of thinking about it, because auto-tune isn't actually to fix it, it's an effect on the voice. It's not, it doesn't fix the sounds, it just evens out sounds, if that makes sense. It's pitch correction, which is not auto-tune. Auto-tune is a stylistic choice. Pitch correction is making sure it's the right notes. Good morning. Hello. So yes, pitch correction is needed a little bit here and there. But yeah, Digi says I've been getting better, so I don't know. One day I'd like to get some formal singing lessons. But right now, you know, not that much work needs to be done, so I'm pretty happy with that. Although Kieran seems to have an even better ear for the right notes than me and Digi do. Because sometimes I would send it back to her for feedback, and she's like, this is sharp, this is flat, and I'm like, oh, okay, Kieran, thank you. So she's better at it than we are, but you know, thanks to her feedback, we can make it perfect. So what the fuck is a flat or sharp note? It's basically flat is you're too low and sharp is you're too high. That's basically it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't know anything about music theory. But yeah, hopefully one day I can get some singing lessons. It's just very expensive, so I haven't really looked into it. But yeah. Sorry, by the way, for how I sound today. I know I sound different. The medicine is working, but in the short term, it's made me feel really sick. So, I'm hoping that blows over soon. That's why you have to sharpen the hunting horn or else it goes flat. Yeah, exactly. That's the joke I've been making. I actually got to play some Monster Hunter last night, finally. I made plans to play with my newbie hunter friend, and we did a few hunts. And I played Alchemy style Sword and Shield, which was a lot of fun. And then I'm pretty sure I had a dream last night about playing Hunting Horn. I think I'm having withdrawals. Free singing lesson tip: sing poorly in public until people start screaming advice at you. Dude, sometimes in my town, people, like, especially older men, sometimes just sing to themselves, like, walking down the street. And, they sound incredibly good. It's like, damn. At my doctor's office, there was also, like, an 80-year-old man. I know that he's 80 because he said his birth year at the counter. And he had, like, a straight-up radio voice. I was like, damn. How does he sound so good at that age? Like, that's crazy. Damn. It's a really nice voice. So, yeah. I was actually considering a local bar in my town that does the really delicious cocktails. They do public karaoke nights. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that, but I'd love to at least be there one day to see other people do it. I can't understand how that's your singing voice. You sound so different. Well, first of all, the singing voice is louder. It's much more projected to help you sound more powerful and hit the notes. You have to be really loud. I stand up while I sing, and I take very big breaths. Right now, I'm sitting down, I'm feeling sickly, and I'm barely breathing. Myra will pull up and become the queen of karaoke. I don't know, I'm not good at karaoke. Like, whenever I record the songs, I feel like I sound better than when I listen to myself on the VODs of karaoke streams. It's probably just because I'm more nervous and I can't hear myself properly, but yeah. But I can assure you, it is me. And no, Digi does not process my voice so heavily that I sound like a different person. It's still me. Do you stand up for karaoke streams? I did last time, yeah. I think I'm just more self-conscious when I do the karaoke streams. I'm not that confident yet. It's actually Digi singing and he processes his voice to sound like Myra. Could you imagine? That's just actually Digi singing like that. Digi. I think Digi is a bass. He was telling me when he was in his school choir, he was a bass. So I don't think so, guys. He's literally a bass guitar. Anyway, so today we're gonna be reading some Grimm fairy tales. And I have a book in front of me with them. It's a very chunky book. I'm not entirely sure how much we're gonna get done, like how many we're gonna read today. My plan is just to stream for like 2 to 3 hours, maybe. Hopefully that's enough time for 1 or 2, well, maybe 2 short stories. That would be nice. I took a quick look over it, and I don't recognize a lot of the English names. But, I think we're definitely gonna do Hansel and Gretel. I think we have to. There's also Thumbling, which would be interesting. Or the Bremen Town Musicians. Anyone who's not German familiar with the Bremen Town Musicians? Or I guess Germans are welcome too, but I feel like it's not that well known internationally. I've heard of that before. I'm hoping it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, do they have the story of the wolf with the well? What's that one called in English? That one's fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, a lot of these are pretty fucked up, but... Hans the Hedgehog. I don't think I remember a Hans the Hedgehog story. The Beam. Of course. Snow White and Rose Red. I don't know half of these, I'm telling you. The Goose Girl at the Well. No. I don't know what the story's called. It's The Wolf in the Well? Is it? I can't find it. The what with the well? There's like... Do you remember the story where it's like a wolf and it ate lambs? And then they did surgery on the wolf. Remember that one? I don't remember what it was called. Can't watch but have a good stream pause. I'll see you later, Corgi. Yeah, they did surgery on a wolf. Could you imagine? I don't know. Read the story of the chatter that didn't watch the stream. A long time ago, there was a chatter, and this chatter decided not to show up for his Twitch stream. And then he died. At the end. That chatter was me. Not true, you're here right now. The Wolf and the 7 Lambs. Oh, young goats. It's not lambs, it's goats. Of course. I don't think... It might not be in here. Is it not a... Grimm fairy tale story? Brothers Grimm story? Maybe I just can't find it. Good morning, X. Hello, hello. German child after hearing that. Yeah. The wolf and the 7 little kids. That's what it is. Cause baby goats are kids. We got it. It's just the way they translated it. Yeah, okay. We got it. We have to read this one. Which do you have? Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales, published by... It's... Canterbury Classics. It's important to note these stories are in the public domain. Translated by Margaret Hunt. So... No, they're still goats. It's just that goat babies are called kids. That's just what they're called. It's like how baby dogs are called puppies. Are we reading that one today? Yeah, we can read that one. They're not too long. I think we should be able to read a few. I don't really have a set amount in my head. So I'm just gonna read whichever seem good. I think The Wolf and the 7 Little Kids is messed up enough to give you a good insight into what it was like growing up as a child in Germany or in German countries. So Mitzi, what's the end goal here? I've seen your messages. What is the end goal? Does the word Grimm come from Grimm, do you think? Oh yeah, absolutely. How fast can you read? Not very fast. I'm gonna be reading like this. There was... once upon... One day old trolling account? No way! Account created 9 minutes ago. No! So sad. Put on a granny voice and it's okay. There was once upon a time. Alright, do we want some like fireplace sounds? Would that be good? 10-hour fireplace. Before 2020? That didn't work. Nine years ago. No, that didn't work. I'm trying to get a good one that doesn't sound horrible. Okay, I think I got a good one. This one seems pretty cozy. Okay. Oh, copyright. That's right. Hold on, let me take a look. No copyright. This one sounds nice. Okay, we'll go with this one. Maybe. I like this one. Okay. This is good. Should I dim the overlay a little bit? I don't think I have the plugin installed that makes it so that I can use a source as a light source. So I think we'll just read it like this. Okay, are we all comfy cozy? Is this volume good for the fire sounds? Okay. Let me check the index again. So today we're reading a few... I can barely hear it. Is this better? Today we're reading a few Brothers Grimm stories. God, it's so weird. I'm looking at it and I feel like it's warming me up. This is from the last event we did, a little incentive. So we're gonna be going for like 2 to 3 hours today, just to relax for a bit. Superliminal influence, yeah. I like your model, it looks cool, thank you. Shelton, thank you for the 35 stream streak. Jonah, thank you for the 70 stream streak. Space, thank you for the 75 stream streak. And anything for the 7 stream streak. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna start with the wolf and the 7 little kids. As in goats. This is a real Grimm Fairy Tales classic. Oh no, I bent one of the pages. No, that's fine. For anyone who doesn't know, I am actually German, and I grew up in Germany. So this is gonna be a little nostalgic, but also weird for me, because I don't think I've ever read these stories in English. So, yeah. Okay, let's just do it. Are we all ready? Okay, we're ready, right? Or what? The Wolf and the 7 Little Kids. There was once upon a time an old goat who had 7 little kids and loved them all with all the love of a mother for her children. One day she wanted to go into the forest and fetch some food. So she called all 7 to her and said, "Dear children, I have to go into the forest. Be on your guard against the wolf. If he comes in, he will devour you all, skin, hair, and all. The wretch often disguises himself, but you will know him at once by his rough voice and his black feet." The kids said, "Dear mother, we will take good care of ourselves. You may go away without any anxiety." Then the old one bleated and went on her way with an easy mind. It was not long before someone knocked at the door and called, "Open the door, dear children, your mother is here, and has brought something back with her for each of you." But the little kids knew that it was the wolf by the rough voice. "We will not open the door," cried they. "You are not our mother. She has a soft, pleasant voice, but your voice is rough. You are the wolf." Then the wolf went away to a shopkeeper and bought himself a great lump of chalk, ate this, and made his voice soft with it. Then he came back, knocked at the door of the house, and cried, "Open the door, dear children. Your mother is here and has brought something back with her for each of you." But the wolf had laid his black paws against the window, and the children saw them and cried, "We will not open the door. Our mother has not black feet like you. You are the wolf." Then the wolf ran to a baker and said, "I have hurt my feet. Rub some dough over them for me." And when the baker had rubbed his feet over, he ran to the miller and said, "Strew some white meal over my feet for me." The miller thought to himself, "The wolf wants to deceive someone," and refused. But the wolf said, "If you will not do it, I will devour you." Then the miller was afraid and made his paws white for him. Yes, that's how people are. So now the wretch went for the third time to the door, knocked at it and said, "Open the door for me, children. Your dear little mother has come home and has brought every one of you something back from the forest with her." The little kids cried, "First, show us your paws that we may know if you are our dear little mother." Then he put his paws in through the window, and when the kids saw that they were white, they believed all that he said was true and opened the door. But who should come in but the wolf? They were terrified and wanted to hide themselves. One sprang under the table, the second into the bed, the third into the stove, the fourth into the kitchen, the fifth into the cupboard, and the sixth under the washing bowl, and the seventh into the clock case. But the wolf found them, and used no great ceremony. One after the other he swallowed them down his throat. The youngest, who was in the clock case, was the only one he did not find. When the wolf had satisfied his appetite, he took himself off, laid himself down under a tree in the green meadow outside, and began to sleep. Soon afterwards, the old goat came home from the forest. Ah, what a sight she saw there! The door stood wide open, the table, chairs, and benches were thrown down, the washing bowl lay broken to pieces, and the quilts and pillows were pulled off the bed. She sought her children, but they were nowhere to be found. She called them one after another by name, but no one answered. At last, when she came to the youngest, a soft voice cried, "Dear mother, I am in the clock case." She took the kid out, and it told her that the wolf had come and had eaten all the others. Then you may imagine how she wept over her poor children. At length in her grief she went out, and the youngest kid ran with her. When they came to the meadow, there the wolf lay by the tree and snored so loud that the branches shook. She looked at him on every side and saw that something was moving and struggling in his gorged belly. "Ah, heavens," she said. "Is it possible that my poor children, whom he has swallowed down for his supper, can still be alive?" Then the kid had to run home and fetch scissors and a needle and thread, and the goat cut open the monster's stomach, and hardly had she made one cut than one little kid thrust its head out. And when she cut farther, all six sprang out, one after another, and were all still alive, and had suffered no injury whatever, for in his greediness the monster had swallowed them down whole. What rejoicing there was! They embraced their dear mother, and jumped like a sailor at his wedding. The mother, however, said, "Now go and look for some big stones that we will fill the wicked beast's stomach with, while he is still asleep." Then the 7 kids dragged the stones there with all speed, and put as many of them into his stomach as they could get in, and the mother sewed him up again in the greatest haste, so that he was not aware of anything, and never once stirred. Aware? When the wolf at length had had his sleep out, He got on his legs, and all the stones in his stomach made him very thirsty. He wanted to go to a well to drink. When he began to walk and move about, the stones in his stomach knocked against each other and rattled. Then cried he, "What rumbles and tumbles against my poor bones? I thought 'twas 6 kids, but it's not but big stones." And when he got to the well and stooped over the water and was just about to drink, the heavy stones made him fall in, and there was no help, but he had to drown miserably. When the 7 kids saw that, they came running to the spot and cried aloud, "The wolf is dead! The wolf is dead!" and danced for joy round about the well with their mother. There you go. That was The Wolf and the 7 Little Kids. Are you guys feeling sleepy yet? What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is take your time to chew your food. And also make sure you kill any witnesses. Don't fall in a well. So yeah, that was a real classic. It was a real German classic right there. Yeah, these stories aren't too long, surely. Okay. More. Alright, let's read some witch bad propaganda, shall we? Hansel and Gretel is quite long, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Much longer than the wolf one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pages! They probably don't have Struwwelpeter. They have Thumbling. Thumble... What's it called? In English. I saw it on the list. Thumbling is what it's called. I don't know what Struwwelpeter is in English. You could look it up though. Girl that played with the matchsticks? Let's see. I think Rumpelstiltskin is Struwwelpeter, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. I don't think it has the little match girl, no. Yeah, I was reading over it. Okay, let's skip Hansel and Gretel for now, because it's quite long. We can do a Thumbling. I don't think Thumbling is too long. Now that's a real German trauma story right here. What? Thumbling is also like 1, 2, 3, 3.5 pages. 4 pages, actually. God damn. At least I think it's Thumbling. Maybe not? No, I don't think Thumbling is the story we're thinking of. That's a lot of thumbs. I'm just trying to find the ones I actually recognized. But it's hard. Well, let's do the Bremen town musicians next. I don't think that one's too dark and weird. Something is a person that is a hero but only as big as a thumb. Yeah, I was thinking about the one where, you know, the thumb sucking kid. I don't know. I'll have to check. Pale still skin. Imp who spins straw into gold. And oh, that. Okay, yeah, Rumpelstiltskin might be another good one. That might be another good one. Also, kind of messed up though, but you know. Why not traumatize small children for their bedtime stories? Alright. Could be that the thumb-sucking kid, the kid that played with matches and Schroelpeter, are actually from Hans Christian Andersen. Oh, and not the Grimm brothers? I see. See, shows how little I know. Alright, the Bremen town musicians. This one's actually very popular in Germany. You can find a lot of, like, statues and depictions of this for some reason. So... A certain man had a donkey, which had carried the sacks of corn to the mill tirelessly for many long years. But his strength was going, and he was growing more and more unfit for work. Then his master began to consider doing away with him, but the donkey, seeing that trouble was in the air, ran away and set out on the road to Bremen. There, he thought, I can surely join the town band. When he had walked some distance, he found a hound lying on the road, gasping like one who had run till he was tired. "Why are you gasping so, you big fellow?" asked the donkey. "Ah," replied the hound, "as I am old and daily grow weaker and no longer can hunt, my master wanted to kill me. So I took to flight, but now how am I to earn my bread?" "I tell you what," said the donkey, "I'm going to Bremen and shall be town musician there. Go with me and engage yourself also as a musician. I will play the lute, and you shall beat the kettle drum." The hound agreed, and on they went. Before long they came to a cat, sitting on the path, with a face like 3 rainy days. "Now then, old Whiskers, what has gone askew with you?" asked the donkey. "Who can be merry when his neck is in danger?" answered the cat. "Because I am now getting old, and my teeth are worn to stumps, and I prefer to sit by the fire and spin, rather than hunt about after mice. My mistress wanted to drown me, so I ran away. But now good advice is scarce. Where am I to go?" "Go with us to Bremen. You understand night serenading. You can be a town musician." The cat thought well of it and went with them. After this, the 3 fugitives came to a farmyard, where the rooster was sitting upon the gate, crowing with all his might. "Your crow goes on," said the donkey. "What is the matter?" "I have been foretelling fine weather because it is the day on which Our Lady washes the Christ child's little shirts and wants to dry them," said the rooster. "But guests are coming for Sunday, so the housewife has no pity, and she has told the cook that she intends to eat me in the soup tomorrow, and this evening I am to have my head cut off. Now I am crowing at full pitch while I can." "Ah, but Redcomb," said the donkey, "you had better come away with us. We are going to Bremen. You can find something better than death everywhere. You have a good voice, and we can make music together. And if we make music together, it must have some quality." The rooster agreed to this plan, and all 4 went on together. They could not, however, reach the city of Bremen in one day, and in the evening they came to a forest where they meant to pass the night. The donkey and the hound laid themselves down under a large tree. The cat settled itself in the branches, and the rooster flew right to the top, where he was most safe. Before he went to sleep, he looked round on all 4 sides and thought he saw in the distance a little spark burning. So he called out to his companions that there must be a house not far off, for he saw a light. The donkey said, "If so, we had better get up and go on, for the shelter here is bad." The hound thought that a few bones with some meat on them would do him good too. So they made their way to the place where the light was, and soon saw it shine brighter and grow larger, until they came to a well-lighted robber's house. The donkey, as the biggest, went to the window and looked in. "What do you see, my grey horse?" asked the rooster. "What do I see?" answered the donkey. "A table covered with good things to eat and drink, and robbers sitting at it enjoying themselves." "That would be the sort of thing for us," said the rooster. Yes, ah, how I wish we were there," said the donkey. Then the animals took counsel together how they should manage to drive away the robbers, and at last they thought of a plan. The donkey was to place himself with his 4 feet upon the window ledge. The hound was to jump on the donkey's back. The cat was to climb upon the dog, and lastly, the rooster was to fly up and perch upon the head of the cat. When this was done, at a given signal, they began to perform their music together. The donkey brayed, the hound barked, the cat meowed, and the rooster crowed. Then they burst through the window into the room, so that the glass clattered. At this horrible din, the robbers sprang up, thinking that a ghost had come in, and fled in a great fright out into the forest. The 4 companions now sat down at the table, well content with what was left, and ate as if they were going to fast for a month. As soon as the four minstrels had done, they put out the light, and each sought for himself a sleeping place along to his nature and to what suited him. The donkey laid himself down upon some straw in the yard, the hound behind the door, the cat upon the hearth near the warm ashes, and the rooster perched himself upon a beam of the roof, and being tired from their long walk, they soon went to sleep. When it was past midnight, and the robbers saw from afar that the light was no longer burning in their house, and all appeared quiet, the captain said, "We ought not to have let ourselves be frightened out of our wits," and then ordered one of them to go and examine the house. The messenger, finding all still, went to the kitchen to light a candle, and, taking the glistening, fiery eyes of the cat for live coals, he held a match to them to light it. But the cat did not think it was funny, and flew in his face, spitting and scratching. He was dreadfully frightened, and ran to the back door, but the dog who lay there sprang up and bit his leg, and as he ran across the yard by the straw heap, the donkey gave him a smart kick with his hind foot. The rooster, too, who had been awakened by the noise, and had become lively, cried down from the beam, "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" Then the robber ran back as fast as he could to his captain and said, "Ah, there's a horrible witch sitting in the house, who spat on me and scratched my face with her long claws, and by the door stands a man with a knife, who stabbed me in the leg, and in the yard there lies a black monster who beat me with a wooden club, And above, upon the roof, sits the judge, who called out, 'Bring the rogue here to me!' So I got away as well as I could. After this, the robbers did not trust themselves in the house again, but it suited the foreign musicians of Bremen so well that they did not care to leave it anymore. And the mouth of the man who last told the story is still warm." Huh? What's this last sentence? What does that mean? Huh? So yeah, there you go. It's kind of messed up that they're all like, "Oh well, our pets don't serve a purpose anymore. Let's kill them all." And then they all became guard animals, I guess. What does that mean? I don't know. Still told to this day. Oh, fair enough. I guess it is still told to this day. My mouth is warm right now. Wow. They were so confident in their work. Oh my god. Yeah, they're fairly short. We can knock a couple more out, I'm sure. You know, I also have Lovecraft short stories we can swap to. Moral of the story, keep your pets, I think. Keep your pets, just because they're not capable of doing their original purpose, they might still be able to keep you safe and happy. How about that? Okay, let's do Rumpelstiltskin. I'm pretty sure there's a Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek, by the way. In case you're wondering. A kid didn't get to enjoy a rooster dinner, so sad. I think he'll be okay. Okay, Rumpelstiltskin's pretty short. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of these stories are just like weirdly messed up. Brother, I've come up with an amazing new story today. Oh my god, what is it about? Getting eaten alive and performing surgery on a wolf and putting stones in his tummy. Oh my god, write that down right now. We gotta publish this. The kids will love it. It's the Beavis and Butthead of its time. From God knows how long ago, yeah. Hey, big stuff. Hello, hello. Okay, this is Rumpelstiltskin. Once there was a miller who was poor, but who had a beautiful daughter. Now it happened that he had to go and speak to the king, and in order to make himself appear more important, he said to him, "I have a daughter who can spin straw into gold." The king said to the miller, "That is an art which pleases me well. If your daughter is as clever as you say, bring her tomorrow to my palace, and I will try what she can do." And when the girl was brought to him, he took her into a room, which was quite full of straw, gave her a spinning wheel and a reel, and said, "Now set to work, and if by tomorrow morning early you have not spun the straw into gold during the night, you must die." Thereupon he himself locked up the room and left her in it alone. So there sat the poor miller's daughter, and for the life of her could not tell what to do. She had no idea how straw could be spun into gold, and she grew more and more miserable until at last she began to weep. But all at once the door opened and in came a little man and said, "Good evening, Mistress Miller. Why are you crying so?" "Alas," answered the girl, "I have to spin straw into gold, and I do not know how to do it." "What will you give me," said the mannequin, "if I do it for you?" "My necklace," said the girl. The little man took the necklace, seated himself in front of the wheel, and whir, 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 3 turns, and the reel was full. Then he put another on, and whir, 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 3 times round, and the second was full too. And so it went on until the morning, when all the straw was spun, and all the reels were full of gold. By daybreak the king was already there, and when he saw the gold he was astonished and delighted, but his heart became only more greedy. He had the miller's daughter taken into another room full of straw, which was much larger, and commanded her to spin that also in one night if she valued her life. The girl knew not how to help herself, and was crying, when the door again opened, and the little man appeared and said, "What will you give me if I spin that straw into gold for you?" "The ring on my finger," answered the girl. The little man took the ring, again began to turn the wheel, and by morning had spun all the straw into glittering gold. Biblical level of greed. You're already a king. Why do you need all this gold? The king rejoiced beyond measure at the sight, but still had not enough gold, and he had the miller's daughter taken into a still larger room full of straw, and said, "You must spin this, too, in the course of this night, but if you succeed, you shall be my wife." And he thought, "Even if she be a miller's daughter, I could not find a richer wife in the whole world." When the girl was alone, the mannequin came again for the 3rd time, and said, "What will you give me if I spin the straw for you this time also?" "I have nothing left that I could give," answered the girl. "Then promise me, if you should become queen, your first child." "Who knows whether that will ever happen?" thought the miller's daughter, and, not knowing how else to help herself in this strait, she promised the mannequin what he wanted, and for that he once more span the straw into gold. And when the king came in the morning, and found all as he had wished, he took her in marriage, and the pretty miller's daughter became a queen. A year after she had a beautiful child, and she never gave a thought to the mannequin. But suddenly he came into her room and said, "Now give me what you promised." The queen was horror-struck and offered the mannequin all the riches of the kingdom if he would leave to her the child. But the mannequin said, "No, something that is living is dearer to me than all the treasures in the world." Then the queen began to weep and cry, so that the mannequin pitied her. "I will give you 3 days' time," said he. "If by that time you find out my name, then you shall keep your child." What kind of gambit is that? So the queen thought the whole night of all the names that she had ever heard, and she sent a messenger over the country to inquire far and wide for any other names that there might be. When the mannequin came the next day, she began with Casper, Melchior, Balthazar. "Okay, leave my homies alone," and said all the names she knew, one after another, but to everyone the little man said, "That is not my name." On the 2nd day she had inquiries made in the neighborhood as to the names of the people there, and she repeated to the mannequin the most uncommon and curious. "Perhaps your name is Short Ribs, or Sheepshanks, or Lace Leg," but he always answered, "That is not my name." On the 3rd day the messenger came back again and said, "I have not been able to find a single new name, but as I came to a high mountain at the end of the forest, where the fox and the hare bid each other good night, there I saw a little house, and before the house a fire was burning, and round about the fire quite a ridiculous little man was jumping. He hopped upon one leg and shouted, 'Today I bake, tomorrow brew, the next I'll have the young queen's child. Ha! Glad am I that no one knew that Rumpelstiltskin I am styled.' You may think how glad the queen was when she heard the name. And when soon afterwards the little man came in and asked, 'Now, Mistress Queen, what is my name?' At first she said, 'Is your name Conrad?' 'No.' 'Is your name Harry?' 'No.' 'Perhaps your name is Rumpelstiltskin?' 'The devil has told you that! The devil has told you that!' cried the little man, and in his anger he plunged his right foot so deep into the earth that his whole leg went in, and then in rage he pulled at his left leg so hard with both hands that he tore himself in two. The end. That is how it ends. Yes, that's how it ends. He mauled it to death, man. He ripped himself in half. That's how mad he was. Morals to do the bare minimum at your waging job. Moral is not to lie to the king about your daughter's ability. Don't lie on your resume. Don't have your parents lie on your resume on your behalf. What the hell were these authors on? I don't know. It's odd, isn't it? Government intelligence gathering is very effective. What an ending to a story, huh? One of them is called Lean Lisa. What kind of title is that? 549. That's so late into the book. 549. I wonder if they're sorted by publication. Oh, that's a very short one. And I think it's connected to some of the other stories. Even more? Okay, more. Just trying to, like, figure out what these are. We could do, The Hare and the Hedgehog. Maybe. Also known as The Race Between the Hare and the Hedgehog. 599. That one's not too long. It's a bit longer, but not too long. Oh, the pages are stuck together. There we go. Okay, this is The Hare and the Hedgehog. What happened to the turtle? I don't know. Probably got eaten by something. Judging by these people's stories. This story, my dear young folks, seems to be false, but it really is true. For my grandfather, from whom I have it, used always, when relating it, to say complacently, "It must be true, my son, or else no one could tell it to you." The story is as follows. One Sunday morning, about harvest time, just as the buckwheat was in bloom, the sun was shining brightly in heaven, the east wind was blowing warmly over the stubble fields, and the larks were singing in the air, the bees buzzing among the buckwheat, the people were... okay, there we go. The people were all going in their Sunday clothes to church, and all creatures were happy, and the hedgehog was happy too. The hedgehog, however, was standing by his door with his arms folded, enjoying the morning breeze, and slowly trilling a little song to himself, which was neither better nor worse than the songs which hedgehogs are in the habit of singing on a blessed Sunday morning. While he was thus singing half aloud to himself, it suddenly occurred to him that, while his wife was washing and drying the children, he might very well take a walk into the field and see how his turnips were going on. The turnips were, in fact, close beside his house, and he and his family were accustomed to eating them, for which reason he looked upon them as his own. No sooner said than done. The hedgehog shut the door behind him and took the path to the field. He had not gone very far from home, and was just turning round the sloe bush, which stands there outside the field, to go up into the turnip field, when he observed the hare, who had gone out on business of the same kind, namely, to visit his cabbages. Why is this one so hard to read? Something about the way this one's written is odd. When the hedgehog caught sight of the hare, he bade him a friendly good morning, but the hare, who was in his own way a distinguished gentleman, and frightfully haughty, did not return the hedgehog's greeting, but said to him, assuming at the same time a very contemptuous manner, "How do you happen to be running about here in the field so early in the morning?" "I am taking a walk," said the hedgehog. "A walk," said the hare with a smile. "It seems to me that you might use your legs for a better purpose." This answer made the hedgehog furiously angry, for he can bear anything but an attack on his legs, just because they are crooked by nature. So now the hedgehog said to the hare, "You seem to imagine that you can do more with your legs than I with mine." "That is just what I do think," said the hare. "That can be put to the test," said the hedgehog. "I wager that if we run a race, I will outstrip you." "That is ridiculous, you with your short legs," said the hare. "But for my part, I am willing, if you have such a monstrous fancy for it. What shall we wager?" "A golden louis d'or and a bottle of brandy," said the hedgehog. "Done," said the hare. "Shake hands on it, and then we may as well come off at once." "Nay," said the hedgehog. "There's no such great hurry. I am still fasting. I will go home first and have a little breakfast. In half an hour I will be back again at this place." Then the hedgehog departed, for the hare was quite satisfied with this. On his way the hedgehog thought to himself, "The hare relies on his long legs, but I will contrive to get the better of him. He may be a great man, but he is a very silly fellow, and he shall pay for what he has said." So when the hedgehog reached home, he said to his wife, "Wife, dress yourself quickly. You must go out to the field with me." "What is going on, then?" said his wife. "I have made a wager with the hare for a gold louis d'or and a bottle of brandy. I am to run a race with him, and you must be present." "Good heavens, husband," the wife now cried. "Are you not right in your mind? Have you completely lost your wits? What can make you want to run a race with the hare?" "Hold your tongue, woman," said the hedgehog. Oh my god, that is my affair. Don't begin to discuss things which are matters for men. Be off, dress yourself, and come with me. What could the hedgehog's wife do? She was forced to obey him, whether she liked it or not. Oh my god. So when they had set out on their way together, the hedgehog said to his wife, "Now pay attention to what I am going to say. Look, I will make the long field our race course. The hare shall run in one furrow, and I in another, and we will begin to run from the top. Now all that you have to do is place yourself here below in the furrow, and when the hare arrives at the end of the furrow, on the other side of you, you must cry out to him, 'I am here already.'" Then they reached the field, and the hedgehog showed his wife her place. Stop the wording. And then walked up the field. When he reached the top, the hare was already there. "Shall we start?" said the hare. "Certainly," said the hedgehog. Then both at once, so saying, each placed himself at his own furrow. The hare counted once, twice, thrice, and away, and went off like a whirlwind down the field. The hedgehog, however, only ran about 3 paces, then he stopped down in the furrow, and stayed quietly where he was. When the hare therefore arrived in full career at the lower end of the field, the hedgehog's wife met him with the cry, "I am here already." The hare was shocked and wondered not a little, he thought. The hare was shocked and wondered not a little. He thought no other than that it was the hedgehog himself who was calling to him, for the hedgehog's wife looked just like her husband. The hare, however, thought to himself, "That has not been done fairly," and cried, "It must be run again, let us have it again." And once more he went off like the wind in a storm, so that he seemed to fly. But the hedgehog's wife stayed quietly in her place. So when the hare reached the top of the field, the hedgehog himself cried out to him, "I am here already." The hare, however, quite beside himself with anger, cried, "It must be run again, we must have it again." "All right," answered the hedgehog. "For my part, we'll run as often as you choose." So the hare ran 73 times more, and the hedgehog always held out against him, and every time the hare reached either the top or the bottom, either the hedgehog or his wife said, "I am here already." At the 74th time, however, the hare could no longer reach the end. In the middle of the field he fell to the ground, blood streamed out of his mouth, and he lay dead on the spot. But the hedgehog took the louis d'or which he had won, and the bottle of brandy, called his wife out of the furrow, and both went home together in great delight, and if they are not dead, they are living there still. This is how it happened that the hedgehog made the hare run races with him on the Buxed Hooter Heath, till he died, and since that time no hare has ever had any fancy for running races with a Buxed Hooter hedgehog. The moral of the story, however, is firstly that no one, however great he may be, should permit himself to jest at anyone beneath him, even if he is only a hedgehog. And secondly, it teaches that when a man marries, he should take a wife in his own position, who looks just as he himself looks, so whoever is a hedgehog, let him see to it that his wife is a hedgehog also, and so forth. Guys, I think we might have to cancel the Brothers Grimm. Guys, I think we have to cancel them. I'm gonna file a complaint. Writing a twit longer about hedgehogs as we speak. This is what you're reading before bed. This is what German parents read their children before they go to bed. There's some really short ones here. Here is odds and ends, which is barely... It's like half a page long. This one's very short. There was once upon a time a maiden who was pretty, but idle and negligent. When she had to spin, she was so bad-tempered that if there was a little knot in the flax, she at once pulled out a whole heap of it and strewed it about on the ground beside her. Now she had a servant who was industrious, and gathered together the bits of flax which were thrown away, cleaned them, spanned them fine, and had a beautiful gown made out of them for herself. A young man had wooed the lazy girl, and the wedding was to take place. On the eve of the wedding, the industrious one was dancing merrily about in her pretty dress, and the bride said, "Ah, how that girl does jump about, dressed in my odds and ends." The bridegroom heard that, and asked the bride what she meant by it. Then she told him that the girl was wearing a dress made of the flax which she had thrown away. When the bridegroom heard that, and saw how idle she was, and how industrious the poor girl was, he gave her up and went to the other, and chose her as his wife. That's all it takes, huh? Moral of the story? Don't be lazy. Marry someone who you have known for longer than 2 days. Marry someone you just saw 2 seconds ago. Okay, here's another short one called The Three Sluggards. A certain king had 3 sons who were all equally dear to him, and he did not know which of them to appoint as his successor after his own death. When the time came when he was about to die, he summoned them to his bedside and said, "Dear children, I have been thinking of something which I will declare unto you. Wherever of you is the laziest shall have the kingdom." The eldest said, "Then, father, the kingdom is mine, for I am so idle that if I lie down to rest, and a drop falls in my eye, I will not open it, that I may sleep." The second said, "Father, the kingdom belongs to me, for I am so idle that when I am sitting by the fire warming myself, I rather let my heel be burnt off than draw back my leg." The third said, "Father, the kingdom is mine, for I am so idle that if I were going to be hanged, and had the rope already round my neck, and any one put a sharp knife into my hand with which I might cut the rope, I would rather let myself be hanged than raise my hand to the rope." When the father had heard that, he said, "You have carried it the farthest, and shall be king." Brothers Grimm, I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if I enjoyed that story. I mean, it was, yeah, that was it. It was better than the misogyny and the hare and the hedgehog, but that one fell a little flat. There wasn't even a punchline. Moral of the story, good question, huh? Commit to the bit. Commit to the bit, I guess. Jorinda and Joringle. I feel like I remember this. I need to Google this one. What is this one? Another one about an evil witch! Scrunglo and Scrungle. I'm trying to find the original name. I find it hard to believe that that is the actual name of the book, of the story even. I want to read another iconic one though. I feel like we've done some from my childhood, and we've done a few ones I haven't read now. And one that was terrible misogynistic. Oh my god, they have Little Red Riding Hood! Little Red... Little Red... Is this Little Red Riding Hood? Is that the name of it? It's just called Little Red Cap here. In this book. It's a Red Hood classic. We can read this one. This one's an iconic classic. I mean, you guys probably already know this one anyway, but, you know, it would be nice to read the original. Okay, let me take a big sip of my drink. But yeah, for anyone coming in late, hello. We're reading Grimm fairy tales today. It was an incentive from my last event. And I thought it would kind of be fitting for Halloween. I mean, they're not outright scary stories. They're just a bit weird and deeply unsettling to imagine reading it to your kids. But, yeah. As I've said, I have a collection of Lovecraft short stories as well. We could read one or two from, if you guys want to. Speaking of outdated social norms. I don't know which ones are good though. Let's see. Is there an index in this one? Pretty sure Lovecraft is public domain as well now. Dunwich Horror might be good, but it is kind of long. Oh, this is a heavy book. Maybe at a future time, we could take a look at Lovecraft. You have the physical books? Yeah, I do. Almost fell out of its sleeve. Jesus. Okay. Ugh, let's do Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. Let's do that next. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a dear little girl who was loved by everyone who looked at her. Who was loved by everyone who looked at her, but most of all by her grandmother, and there was nothing that she would not have given to the child. Once she gave her a little cap of red velvet, which suited her so well that she would never wear anything else, so she was always called Little Red Cap. One day her mother said to her, "Come, Little Red Cap, here's a piece of cake and a bottle of wine. Take them to your grandmother. She is ill and weak, and they will do her good. Set out before it gets hot, and when you are going, walk nicely and quietly, and do not run off the path, or you may fall and break the bottle, and then your grandmother will get nothing. And when you go into her room, don't forget to say good morning, and don't peep into every corner before you do it." "I will take great care," said Little Red Cap to her mother, and gave her hand on it. The grandmother lived out in the wood, half a league from the village. And just as Little Red Cap entered the woods, a wolf met her. Red Cap did not know what a wicked creature he was, and was not at all afraid of him. Cake and wine used to be medicine. "Good day, Little Red Cap," said he. "Thank you kindly, wolf." "Where do you go so early, Little Red Cap?" "To my grandmother's." "What have you got in your apron?" "Cake and wine. Yesterday was baking day, so poor sick grandmother is to have something good to make her stronger." "Where does your grandmother live, Little Red Cap?" "A good quarter of a league farther in the wood. Her house stands under the 3 large oak trees. The nut trees are just below. You surely must know it," replied Little Red Cap. The wolf thought to himself, "What a tender young creature! What a nice plump mouthful! She will be better to eat than the old woman. I must act craftily as to not catch both." So as to catch both, even. Sorry. So he walked for a short time by the side of Little Red Cap, and then he said, "See, Little Red Cap, how pretty the flowers are about here. Why do you not look round? I believe, too, that you do not hear how sweetly the little birds are singing. You walk gravely along as if you were going to school, while everything else out here in the wood is merry." Little Red Cap raised her eyes, and when she saw the sunbeams dancing here and there through the trees, and pretty flowers growing everywhere, she thought, "Suppose I take grandmother a fresh nosegay." Nosegay? Is that a flower? I've never heard of this flower in my life. That is a flower. It's a nosegay, posy, or tussy mussy. Is a small flower bouquet. Nosegay. Yeah, it's written like nosegay. She tussy on my mussy. Suppose I take grandmother a fresh nosegay. That would please her too. It is so early in the day that I shall still get there in good time. And so she ran from the path into the wood to look for flowers. And whenever she had picked one, she fancied that she saw a still prettier one farther on, and ran after it, and so got deeper and deeper into the wood. Meanwhile the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked at the door. "Who's there?" "Little Red Cap," replied the wolf. "She is bringing cake and wine. Open the door." "Lift the hatch," called out the grandmother. "I am too weak and cannot get up." The wolf lifted the latch. The door flew open, and without saying a word he went straight to the grandmother's bed and devoured her. Then he put on her clothes, dressed himself in her cap, laid himself in bed, and drew the curtains. Little Red Cap, however, had been running about picking flowers, and when she had gathered so many that she could carry no more, she remembered her grandmother and set out on the way to her. She was surprised to find the cottage door standing open, and when she went into the room, she had such strange feelings, she said to herself, "Oh dear, how uneasy I feel today," and at other times, "I like being with grandmother so much." She called out, "Good morning," but received no answer. So she went to the bed and drew back the curtains. There lay her grandmother, with her cap pulled far over her face, looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have." "The better to hear you with, my child," was the reply. "But grandmother, what big eyes you have," she said. "The better to see you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what large hands you have." "The better to hug you with." "Oh, but grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have." "The better to eat you with." And scarcely had the wolf said this, than with one bound he was out of bed and swallowed up Red Cap. When the wolf had appeased his appetite, he lay down against the bed, fell asleep, and began to snore very loud. The hunter was just passing the house and thought to himself, "How the old woman is snoring. I must see if she wants anything." So he went into the room, and when he came to bed, he saw that the wolf was lying in it. "Do I find you here, you old sinner?" said he. "I have long sought you." Then, just as he was going to fire at him, it occurred to him that the wolf might have devoured the grandmother, and that she might still be saved. So he did not fire, but took a pair of scissors and began to cut open the stomach of the sleeping wolf. When he had made 2 snips, he saw the little Red Cap shining, and then he made 2 snips more, and the little girl sprang out crying, "Ow, how frightened I have been! How dark it was inside the wolf!" And after that, the aged grandmother came out alive also, but scarcely able to breathe. Red Cap, however, quickly fetched great stones with which they filled the wolf's body, and when he awoke, he wanted to run away, but the stones were so heavy that he fell down at once and fell dead. Then all 3 were delighted. The hunter drew off the wolf's skin and went home with it. The grandmother ate the cake and drank the wine which Red Cap had brought, and revived. But Red Cap thought to herself, "As long as I live, I will never by myself leave the path to run into the wood when my mother has forbidden me to do so." It is also related that once Red Cap was again taking cakes to the old grandmother, another wolf spoke to her and tried to entice her from the path. Red Cap, however, was on her guard, and went straight forward on her way, and told her grandmother that she had met the wolf, and that he said good morning to her, but with such a wicked look in his eyes, that if they had not been on the public road, she was certain he would have eaten her up. "Well," said the grandmother, "we will shut the door that he may not come in." Soon afterwards the wolf knocked and cried, "Open the door, grandmother, I am little Red Cap, and am fetching you some cakes." But they did not speak or open the door, so the greybeard stole twice or thrice around the house, and at last jumped on the roof, intending to wait until Red Cap went home in the evening, and then to steal after her and devour her in the darkness. But the grandmother saw what was in his thoughts. In front of the house was a great stone trough, so she said to the child, "Take the pail, Red Cap. I made some sausages yesterday, so carry the water in which I boiled them to the trough." Redcap carried until the great trough was quite full. Then the smell of the sausages reached the wolf, and he sniffed and peeped down, and at last stretched out his neck so far that he could no longer keep his footing and began to slip, and slipped down from the roof straight into the great trough and drowned. But Redcap went joyously home and never did anything to harm anyone. They keep putting stones in people. I don't know why they do that. This is the second story about a wolf eating people alive. And them cutting them open. The people in the wolf still being alive. And then them filling the stomach with rocks. It's strange. It's very strange. Wolf L. I think the moral of Little Redcap is keep stranger danger in mind. Don't talk to strangers. Don't go off the road. And yeah, I don't know. Sorry, chat can't talk to you now. The Grimm salesman slaps the stomach of the wolf. This wolf can fit so many stones inside. Always chew your food. Exactly. I guess. They really Looney Tunes at him at the end there. And that was a different wolf, too. Never knew there were two wolves. Yeah. Kind of want to save Hansel and Gretel for Christmas. I don't know what it is about it. It feels like a Christmas story, almost. Or like a more Christmas-appropriate story. Maybe it's because of the house made of candy. In my head, it's a gingerbread house. The packs of ragamuffins. Muffins. Merry Christmas, get almost eaten by a witch. Are there any royalty-free Christmas stories? Should I do another reading stream for Christmas? Would that be nice? Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Absolutely. Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. I doubt that's public domain. Christmas Carol? You know, I don't actually know the story of the Christmas Carol. Well, I kind of get the gist through osmosis, but I've never, like, watched, like, a Christmas Carol movie, you know? Closest I've gotten to it was, like, a Doctor Who episode. Royalty-free Christmas stories. List of copyright-free Christmas stories. Public domain. Oh yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Public domain. A Christmas Carol is public domain. How long is it? 7,000 downloads in the last 30 days. Who is downloading A Christmas Carol in October other than me? AI? No. Oh, the little match girl is a Christmas story, apparently. Also, this website I'm looking at is using an AI image creator. It's got ghosts in it. Ah! Ghosts! How many pages a Christmas Carol? It's gonna be like a 30-page book or something, if not more. And very significantly based on word count. The average word count for A Christmas Carol is approximately 28,000 words. You can estimate that a typical page might contain around 250 to 300 words. If you take an unabridged edition with illustration, you would likely find it sitting somewhere around the 100 to 120 page mark. We could maybe do like a reading stream a week and then get through it leading up to Christmas. Like a little advent calendar! Like a little Advent Sunday reading session. Aw, wouldn't that be cute? Do a little bit, like, every Sunday before Christmas. Aw. Sorry, I'm such a Christmas lover. Okay. It can't cost that much. Christmas Carol. Yeah, it's not very expensive at all. Okay, I'll look into it. I love Christmas! Yippee! Okay. Do we have one more story we can read for today? Because I need to wrap up soon, guys. I need some time to rest before the collab in 2 hours. I feel like I vaguely remember the shoes that were danced to pieces, but I really, like, at the same time don't remember it. It just feels familiar. Collab today? Yeah, we're gonna be hanging out and playing Repo with Coco, Digi, Kieran, Dawn, and maybe Keita. Keita says he's not sure if he's gonna be there tonight. Just hold on the Christmas music until after Thanksgiving or December. Yes, I'll wait until December 1st just for you guys. If it were up to me, I would be using a Christmas overlay starting November 1st. And I would keep it until like mid-January, probably. Putting up my tree midnight October 31st. There's Rapunzel as well. I feel like it's not gonna be as I remember it. This one sounds cute. A cat and mouse partnership. I have no idea what this one is, but let's just go in and see. How about that? A cat and mouse partnership. Is the cat's name Tom? I don't think so. But it would be cute, huh? A certain cat had made the acquaintance of a mouse, and had said so much to her about the great love and friendship she felt for her, that at length the mouse agreed that they should live and keep house together. But we must make a provision for winter, or else we shall suffer from hunger, said the cat. And you, little mouse, cannot venture everywhere, or you'll be caught in a trap some day. Good advice was followed, and a pot of fat was bought, but they did not know where to put it. At length, after much consideration, the cat said, I know no place where it will be better stored up than in the church, for no one dares take anything away from there. We will set it beneath the altar, and not touch it until we are really in need of it. So the pot was placed in safety, but it was not long before the cat had a great yearning for it, and said to the mouse, I want to tell you something, little mouse. My cousin has brought a little son into the world, and has asked me to be a godmother. He is white with brown spots, and I am to hold him over the font at the christening. Let me go out today, and you look after the house by yourself. Yes, yes, answered the mouse. By all means go, and if you get anything very good, think of me. I should like a drop of sweet red christening wine too. All this, however, was untrue. The cat had no cousin, and had not been asked to be godmother. She went straight to the church, stole to the pot of fat, began to lick at it, and licked the top of the fat off. Then she took a walk upon the roofs of the town, looked out for opportunities, and then stretched herself in the sun, and licked her lips whenever she thought of the pot of fat, and not until it was evening did she return home. Well, here you are again, said the mouse. No doubt you have had a merry day. All went off well, answered the cat. What name did they give the child? Top off, said the cat quite coolly. Top off, cried the mouse. That is a very odd and uncommon name. Is it a usual one in your family? What does it matter, said the cat. It is no worse than Crumb Stealer, as your godchildren are called. Before long, the cat was seized by another fit of longing. She said to the mouse, You must do me a favor, and once more manage the house for a day alone. I am asked again to be godmother, and, as the child has a white ring around its neck, I cannot refuse. The good mouse consented, but the cat crept behind the town walls to the church, and devoured half the pot of fat. Nothing ever seems so good as what one keeps to oneself, said she, and was quite satisfied with her day's work. When she went home, and the mouse inquired, and what was the child christened? Half done, answered the cat. Half done? What are you saying? I never heard the name in my life. I'll wager anything it is not in the calendar of saints. The cat's mouth soon began to water for some more licking. All good things go in threes, said she. I am asked to stand godmother again. The child is quite black, only it has white paws, but with that exception, it has not a single white hair on its whole body. This only happens once every few years. You will let me go, won't you? Top off, half done, answered the mouse. They are such odd names, they make me feel very thoughtful. You sit at home, said the cat, in your dark gray fur coat at long tail and are filled with fancies. That's because you do not go out in the daytime. During the cat's absence, the mouse cleaned the house and put it in order, but the greedy cat entirely emptied the pot of fat. When everything is eaten up, one has some peace, she said to herself, and well filled and fat did she did not return home till night. Ugh. The mouse at once asked what name had been given to the third child. It will not please you more than the others, said the cat. He is called All Gone. All Gone! Cried the mouse. That is the most suspicious name of all. I have never seen it in print. All Gone. What can that mean? And she shook her head, curled herself up, and lay down to sleep. From this time forth, no one invited the cat to be godmother, but when the winter had come, there was no longer anything to be found outside. The mouse thought of their provision and said, Come, cat, we will go to our pot of fat, which we have stored up for ourselves. We shall enjoy that. Yes, answered the cat. You will enjoy it as much as you would enjoy sticking that dainty tongue of yours out of the window. Okay, weirdly charged, but whatever. They set out on their way, but when they arrived, the pot of fat certainly was still in its place, but it was empty. Alas, said the mouse, now I see what has happened. Now it comes to light. You are a true friend. You have devoured all when you were standing godmother. First top off, then half done, then... Will you hold your tongue? Cried the cat. One word more and I will eat you too. All Gone was already on the poor mouse's lips. Scarcely had she spoken it before the cat sprang on her, seized her, and swallowed her down. And that is the way of the world. The end. So true! So true, I guess. Well, more swallowing people clap. Yeah. The brothers Grimm, they just can't get enough of eating people whole. I learned a lot. Should have filled that guy with rocks. Should have filled the pot of fat with the rocks. That's right. Well, how did you guys enjoy the reading stream? I hope it was fun. I don't tend to do stuff like this. I'm more of a pure gaming enjoyer. It was lovely, thank you. Mods, cut his stomach open, fill it with rocks and drop him down the well. Pronto, please, mods. Was already tuned in as you said the end. Well, it's on the YouTube if you want to listen to it when you go to bed later tonight. How about that? Okay. Mods, make some sausages that smell so good that he falls off the roof and drowns. Oh my god. Mods, give him the Grimm treatment. Mods, make him spin straw into gold. And kill him if he doesn't do it overnight. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. Mods, show him the way of the world. Don't tell me I missed the reading. You did. We just finished up. From what I understand, the Brothers Grimm version of the stories aren't the OG version. They just added the bloody parts. I'm pretty sure they are the original versions, and then people just desensitized them later for Disney and the like. Mods, close the window on his dainty tongue. Oh, man. Alright, well, I guess we'll do Christmas Carol sometime in December. I'm sure that'll be fun. There's probably very similar folk tales that weren't written down. Maybe, yeah. Alright, well... As I said earlier, in 2 hours, I'll be on... I believe Coco and Digi are streaming in. I'm not sure if Dawn is. I think he is. I will be on their channels. Maybe on Kieran's as well. I have no idea who's gonna be streaming this. I know Digi for a fact will be. But I'll link all the POVs on Discord. Classic collab where no one streams. I think I might be the only one not streaming. Unless Kieran changes her mind and ends up streaming. So I don't know. Isn't the collab part of Dawn's Donathon event? I have no idea. We kind of agreed to do this like a month ago. So I'm not sure if it's part of Dawn's event. I mean, if he's still running the Donathon, you know, he can by all means, but yeah. I don't exactly know his plans regarding the Burbadonathon stuff. But I'll be happy to be there. So, shout out Digitoom, shout out Kieran, shout out Coco Pimento. Myrmidon VT. I did not spell the name right. Myrmidon VT. Myrmidon VT. Okay. Alright, we got it in the end. I will be on those channels, maybe, probably. I know, again, I know for a fact, the G is streaming it. And I think Dawn and Coco are. I'm like 95% sure they're streaming. I'm not too sure about Kieran. So yeah. Alright. That's it. Get out of my house. Okay, bye. I'm trying to see who we can raid. I never raid out at this hour. Colt is still alive. Colt DM'd me earlier. He was like, Myra, are you gonna be streaming today? Can I raid you? And I was like, yeah. And now I'm ending my stream. So let's run before she puts some rocks into our stomachs. Good idea. Should get out of here. I'm gonna cut you up and put rocks in your tummy. Oh yeah, check out my new cover. Check out my new cover. We just put it up yesterday. It's of I am gonna claw out your eyes, then drown you to death from Hades 2. And I think I did pretty good. If you enjoy the cover, consider leaving a like and comment under it. It would help me out a lot. And sharing it with all your friends. I'm gonna go rest for a bit. And take my medicine again. And not die, hopefully. I am gonna claw out your eyes and put rocks in your tummy. Something like that. It was a lot of fun hanging out, everyone. Thank you for coming. Yeah, we'll see about doing some more reading streams around Christmas. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for watching. I enjoyed my stay. Hell yeah. Ah! 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 Why is it zooming me like? Okay. Turn the fire off. Oh my god, it's actually made me so sleepy. Thanks for the stream, boss and chat. Thank you guys for hanging out. Okay. Mods, fill his stomach. Well, I was gonna say the raid message should be mods, fill his stomach with rocks, fill his tummy with rocks, but I feel like out of context that would be a horrible raid message. So maybe we'll just go with our default. That's what makes it good. It's good for cold? No, it's okay. We'll just do my raid. We'll just do my raid. Let's go with that one. Oh, fine. Mods, fill his tummy with rocks. Full his tummy? Fill his tummy. Don't copy paste the typo. No! At least paste the right one. Alright. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Spurs over on Patreon. Keith M. Metro Mellow, Shot and Ultra One. TKL Serious Guys, Katie Fruza, Isaac Tadges, Trickyard, Yarn, Amari, Sock, Vindication, Estra. Thank you. I will see you all for the collab later. If not tomorrow. What are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow is Halloween. We're gonna be playing Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase on real PS1 hardware. Be there or be square, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.